out of touch the turd man is, PM Turd Man from Canada.
While isolating with COVID-19, along with two of his children, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau...
Yes, that's because the vaccination works so well. Yep. Got to get some of those little computer parts in me.
...has come out with his strongest words yet about the protesters who've taken to the streets of downtown Ottawa. They've been there for the past 3 days, calling for an end to COVID-19 restrictions and mandatory vaccinations. Nicole Martin joins us live with the latest. Nicole.
Good.
These two evil people here, both of them, they've never talked or brought any vaccination injury people on and had given them a form. People that are injured, which now is right out, which is millions, they don't have a form. If they try and talk about it on a lot of platforms, they're deleted. In fact, 300,000 people that talked in America about their injuries were deleted on Facebook. And look at you, fucktards. Look at you, scumbags. Hitler would have loved you. You're such a tool.
Evening, Taz. Tens of thousands of truckers and supporters have been rallying in Ottawa, while others remain on the roads tonight and continue to deliver goods all across this country. Police have said the vast majority of protesters have been peaceful in the nation's capital. But today, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau voiced strong condemnation for those who took part in the hateful and criminal...
First of all, the most hateful has been coming from the Turd Man, okay? You don't bring that up. He's brought in division. He's actually told people not to even hang out with their family members that are unjabbed. He's crazy insane. He actually believes in tinfoil hat conspiracy theories, though most of them have been proven true and they weren't conspiracy theory. He is such an idiot to use the word tinfoil hat. It shows that he's brain damaged. We have a brain damaged PM talking about conspiracy theories and tinfoil hats as a way of gaslighting people.
Acts.
We won't give in to those who fly racist flags. We won't cave.
You hired a German Nazi descendants to track and trace us. The propaganda minister from Hitler's direct descendants got rich killing my people. My last name, German last name, is Jewish, and there's hardly anyone in Germany with my last name anymore. You want to talk about racism? You expected me to be tracked by a Nazi family that got rich from killing my people? You're fucking a racist.
To those who engage in vandalism or dishonor the memory of our veterans.
There were
Our liberals have been doing a lot of damage on statues before this started in Canada and America. And it was the people in power that made it happen. The crappy little liberals in power. They blew out statues all over America. This happens all the time when they try to hide history and make a new history from our elites, ruling class. Those people you wouldn't even want to go for dinner with because they're that vile.
of anti-Semitism and hate like the Confederate flag.
Oh my God, you mentioned anti-Semitism. I'm a Jewish German person supposed to be tracked by Nazi family members. This is like, honestly, a Nazi takeover. And a lot of people realize the Nazis never went away. They became CIA agents and NASA.
In Ottawa, the chief of police says hate crimes will be investigated.
Within the next 24 hours, we are going to be...
You should be investigating the Turd Man for his hate crimes against humanity. He wants to leave out millions of people in Canada that refuse to be a part of the global experiment. He doesn't talk about the injuries. He doesn't even give a damn about those people. He's triple jabbed and look, he's in hiding. And he's not even sick because it's a weak frickin' variant, you piece of shit.
Creating a hotline for hate incidents, hate crimes, any offenses directly related.
Hate crimes are just bullshit to shut people down.
Into the demonstrations.
There was vandalism to the Terry Fox statue.
In my neighborhood, you're allowed all day long to threaten to kill women. Nothing happens to them, okay? That's not even a hate crime anymore. You can threaten to kill anybody in my neighborhood and nothing happens to you. But if you did anything against a transvestite person, you'd be charged with a hate crime. But women, you are not even allowed to protect yourself when being raped. Because if you hurt your rapist, you will be charged with assault. Damn, if you kill your rapist, you're charged with homicide. In Canada.
And someone was seen jumping on the tomb of the unknown soldier.
A service user.
Oh, come on, give me a break. You guys have been getting a lot of the youth on hard drugs, okay? You took away their hope and faith and they're on hard drugs. Don't expect them to fucking act normal anymore, especially after 2 years of this bullshit when we gave you 2 weeks.
And a security guard of the Shepherds of Good Hope were assaulted over the weekend by protesters who demanded to be fed.
I 100% don't believe that. I've been in homeless shelter. Their food sucks. I nearly starved in them. They give you old food. Nobody's going to be demanding for that pig shit food. You're a liar.
While police say thousands were peaceful and no reports of violence, Trudeau said he believes the views of many are...
There we go. No reports of violence, because the violence comes from our fucking leaders and our police and our RCMP and our security guards. You have used violence against the people that weren't even wearing masks, and you never even checked to see if they were even contagious or sick. It was insanity.
a continuation of misinformation online.
Conspiracy theorists
I hate you.
about microchips, about, God knows what else.
The microchip, you idiot, has a model number. It is WO, and I call it World Order, 2020, the year that we started this shit show, 060606. What are you talking about, you crazy? There's a chip and a model number. Bill Gates has already filed his patent. I found it in 2018, you idiot.
That go with the tinfoil hats.
By the way, tinfoil is actually really good for EMP attacks. So there is something to tinfoil. But to call people tinfoil hats is just a name calling, gaslighting, bullshit. And that's an evil psychopathy that you are inflicting on everybody. This is how I go through the news all the time.
Today, the crowds of protesters have thinned a bit, but the convoy of Canadians continue to demand an
Good for
end
you.
to all COVID-19 restrictions.
It's morphed into
Can you imagine how crazy our leaders are globally? They want to leave out over a quarter of the world that refuses an experimental gene therapy so-called vaccination. A quarter of the world. For not even 6 million people, they're going to throw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of million people out of society. If Hitler was alive, he would be so proud of PM Turdman.
the frustration that the general public is feeling. Everyone I speak to, they've had enough.
People are losing their jobs because they don't want to get the vaccine.
The federal government...
You destroyed so many businesses. We will never climb out of debt. And you have destroyed our country. You, Trudeau, think that we have a decent medical system. It's a shit show. It's been a shit show. And they haven't even stopped beating patients throughout this whole shit show at St. Paul's Hospital in Vancouver. They get close and personal, and they don't even test that person to see if they're sick. It's crazy.
It's totally let us down. What? More mandates when the rest of the world is opening up?
Ottawa correspondent Chris Gooley says some ralliers...
The turd man doesn't want to give up his total control.
Are showing no signs of clearing out, prompting concerns from residents.
Reported incidents of these.
I don't care about the residents. I honestly don't. And if they dare complain after so many senior citizens were slaughtered with your end-of-life drugs, shame on them. So I'm going to fast forward this person. I don't even want to hear some whiner.
Through the night, people are at their wits' end.
It's wrong that people in Ottawa right now are.
Here's the fucktard that actually says that everybody deserves a home in Canada while people are dying on the street. I don't even want to hear this fucktard, so I'll just go fast forward to him.
Of Ottawa saying the massive policing effort is costing the city $800,000.
You're whining about money when Trudeau gives our money away all over the world and never invested any extra money in our crappy medical system that sucks, that kills twice the amount of the flu, and we don't even lock them down.
A day, and officers are.
They should put a notice on every hospital in Canada. We're a piece of shit, and you have a hell of a lot more chance of dying of medical malpractice, and we do not discriminate against age like the flu. We should have warnings on our crappy medical system. You tried to make those zeros into heroes. They threw us under the bus. The nurses and the doctors that are still working. Shame on them. They cannot possibly be so ignorant and stupid that they don't know what the hell's happening. I watched when nurses kill on YouTube about Nazis, and it's very similar in Canada, globally right now.
Now escorting paramedics downtown after the service said protesters threw rocks at ambulances. Meanwhile, businesses have been forced to shut their doors.
Businesses and organizations.
Oh my God, that's still cleaner than the fucking Vancouver downtown. We lived in a shit show. We didn't lock down, so we don't have to reopen. But you did take all the bathrooms away. You put up porta potties in a so-called dangerous, freaking pandemic downtown Vancouver. You lined up porta potties that a lot of people lost their lives and a baby was slaughtered in it. Born in a porta potty in Canada. That baby was born alive. That baby never got a name. That baby never got a fucking funeral. That baby never fucking counted. And I know, 99% sure I know who that mother is. That mother will never be charged. That mother was in a heroin shelter injecting heroin into her baby, saying how much she hated her baby. It was legal for her to lie on the bathroom floors and inject heroin into her freaking baby bump. 8-month baby bump. I cry when I think about that. That baby wasn't even human enough to have a fucking name and a fucking funeral. So fuck you.
Have been subjected to harassment and threats, and these disruptions have been financially debilitating.
I'm always harassed down here. I get threatened to be killed by this scumbag that I moved in with on an ad on Craigslist, and I don't even get police protection. I have to carry weapons with me that are legal. And you want to whine about threats? I'm a 60-year-old woman. I get threatened every fucking week downtown Vancouver by the drug addicts. And I got to smell their dead bodies. I got to see them die on the streets. And I feel bad for them. Even if they threaten me, I still feel bad for them. Because you fuckers fucked them up.
Pertaining to owners and staff.
In a statement, Premier Doug Ford tells CHCH News the right to a peaceful protest is core to our Canadian identity, adding, I was extremely...
Our Canadian identity is a joke under Prime Minister Turd Man.
Disturbed, however, to see some individuals death.
This guy here, his daughter is an anti-vaxxer. She doesn't even want to have a passport because she's got a little bit of brains. He should be executed for treason. He made $50 million in a pandemic. He took advantage of a pandemic. He's a big scumbag.
Desecrate our most sacred monuments and wave swastikas and other symbols of hate and intolerance this weekend.
Never saw one swastika, but You got a lot of nerve to complain about them when you hired a Nazi descendants to track and trace us, dumbass.
That has no place in Ontario or Canada. Not now, not ever. Trudeau.
It's in Canada, you moron. Interest. Hitler's propaganda ministers tracking and tracing us. This is like the Nazis have re-entered our globe. Interest is Hitler's propaganda minister. You're the idiots that hired Nazis, descendants to track and trace us, the graphene kings of the world and queens of the world. And they want to stick their graphene crap in us.
Was calling on members of the convoy and other politicians who have been supporting the rally to condemn it as well.
To the politicians exploiting people's fears?
Don't listen to him. The only one that's been exploiting fear and putting out fear porno are these crappy journalists and the PM turd man.
I ask you to think long and hard.
Why don't you resign? Every time you open up your mouth, you sound like a fool.
About the consequences of your actions.
Conservative leader Aaron O'Toole met with truck.
I had to pass that over. That moron completely makes me mad. He has no right to virtue signal anyone. He's almost like a rapist when he was a teacher.
Over the weekend and then condemned the desecration of the National War Memorial. And today he's calling on Trudeau to hear the protesters out.
Will the Prime Minister move past the division and agree to meet with some of the truckers impacted by his federal regulations?
Well, Trudeau has made it clear that he will not be speaking with the protesters, and with more than 90% of
Yes, of course he isn't going to meet with the protesters. There's something wrong with his brain-damaged brain. His psychopathy won't let him. He's a psycho man.
Canadian truckers fully vaccinated. The transport minister saying today that the mandatory vaccines have had no impact on the supply chain. Back to you at the desk.
Next, they're going to be having truckers, big trucks with no drivers. They're already getting ready for that.